subscriptions on LinkedIn Premium hit the $2 billion mark. People love this data shit. They love insights and what's going on at this company. They like to look under the kimono and see what's going on.
Oh God, we need to retire that
right
phrase.
Now,
please,
but right now,
please,
under
God.
the kimono? What?
No, this needs to go away. Yeah. See, this is why I'm here. No. No opening the kimono. It's gone. It's dead. Let's kill it. Killed.
Hide your kids. Lock the doors. You're listening to HR's most dangerous podcast. Chad Sowash and Joel Cheeseman are here to punch the recruiting industry right where it hurts. Complete with breaking news, brash opinion, and loads of snark. Buckle up, boys and girls. It's time for the Chad and Cheese Podcast.
Oh, yeah. Warning. This podcast may contain alcohol. Hey, boys and girls, it's the Chad and Cheese Podcast. I'm your co-host, Joel Riviera of the Middle East Cheeseman.
This is Chad. You'd better pivot. Sowash.
And this is Maureen. Does Joel know who I am yet? Clough.
And on this episode, Paradox buys, Deel readies, and LinkedIn goes vertical. Let's do this.
At Shaker Recruitment Marketing, our comprehensive services include branding, talent attraction, MarTech, and analytics, empowering you to achieve your recruitment marketing goals. We believe in doing things the right way, delivering the right message through the right activation, achieving the right conversion. For us, business is deeply personal. Our legacy is built on relationships. Together with our people, clients, and partners, we've been shaping the world of talent for over 70 years.
Going horizontal was like the best. No? Okay.
We're not in
Like,
Madrid, which is where you are. Let's get that
about?
out of the way first, Chad. Where the hell are you? You've got like Asian porn art in the back. You have you've poured multiple beers. Like, what is going on with Euro Chad today?
Oh, I am in Madrid and definitely having a blast. Thanks to Lynn and Rebecca and the team over at Smart Recruiters. Had a chance to actually sit down and interview the leadership team and was surprised to hear the word pivot from an established company. Pivot. Yes. Mm-hmm. Apparently the old roadmap is out the window and it's all about solid core based on new Smart Recruiters agents and the ability for partners to build their own product agents into the platform. So this feels like Smart Recruiters Netflix moment, where they see the market moving and they change direction instead of sitting, waiting, and watching like Blockbuster did. Insert Monster or Career Builder reference, wherever you like.
That sounds sexy.
But yeah, it's good stuff, man. It was really good stuff. It was fun.
So you're sort of isolated from the drama that we have to deal with every day here in the U.S. I assume.
So freaking jealous. Basically, there's only one thing that's keeping me sane right now. I don't know about you, Joel, since you're also here. You're not Euro Joel. It's the Daily Show. So like kind of a mini shout out to the Daily Show because I know that I will stay and remain informed. Yes. I won't miss anything, but they're also going to make me like laugh so I don't cry, right? Like, because it's unrelenting, right? Like it's just constant. And so shout out to those guys because, man, they're everything.
Comedians are the smartest, man. Comedians are George Carlin, listen to his political rants. They're fucking nailing it. And you're like looking 20 years like in the 80s, 30, 40 years in the 80s. The shit he's doing is like, wait a minute, that shit's happening right now.
That shit's happening now. We don't learn.
Who's George Carlin?
I actually got that one, but this is like, I love this show. It's a lot of growth for me because you guys
old man
pepper me with references.
Am I going to have to keep up with?
This is the beauty of intergenerational work, guys. We're seeing it in action.
Yeah. Intergenerational. I do love, was it Was it Stuart that said AI lost its job to AI when DeepSeek came out? I thought that was pretty awesome.
He's
I like to make my own comedy with Trump. I like to imagine that all of his policies are like 80s action movies. So when we talk about sending prisoners to El Salvador, tell me that does not sound like the Schwarzenegger movie that should have been made around 1986, Gaza Strip to Vegas Strip, like next on. so all these policies are like movies from the 80s.
Is that what's keeping you sane right now? Is that what we're hearing?
Sane. Yeah, sane. I'm focusing on the Super Bowl
soundtrack.
The big game is this Sunday. Yes. I know I'll be watching. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get predictions out of the way. Chad, you may not even know there's a game being in Europe. I'm going Philly.
Oh yeah.
I'm going Philly. 34-35. Saquon Saquon blows up, 2 touchdowns, MVP of the game. I think this is the Saquon moment. Yeah. And Philly wins the game. What do you guys think?
What do you think, Mo? Are you a big NFL fan?
I used to be. It really ended for me with the loss of the Super Bowl when we passed on the 1 yard line instead of having Marshawn Lynch run it into the end zone. Yes. Yeah, I will never forget that. It's an indelible thing in my brain. So, oh my God, I kind of backed off after that Super Bowl loss. But so I don't really have a prediction, but I do know that the person who's most excited about the game in my personal family is my 7-year-old daughter, because she wants Kansas City to win, and I bet you all know why. So she's like, "Oh, Taylor Swift's boyfriend's team." I'm like, "Oh Lord, man. Okay,
she's not wrong.
Sure, whatever works for you."
Her in the NFL.
I know they must be pumped. Like the jerseys they're selling for that, right?
Oh, dude,
it's crazy.
So much money.
I just think that the Eagles are so strong, and Kansas City. They've had a really bad year, but their record doesn't show it, right? They've had more games that have been by a touchdown or less than they've had in any other season. And I don't think that the Eagles will let that shit happen. And they are going to be a scoring machine. So I think Eagles 42, and you're looking at about 23 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah.
Blowout. Yeah. By the way, a 30-second spot now starts at 8 million. So the real winner is corporate America, everybody. Corporate America wins again.
Yes. They always take it away.
Take it away now. Hey, listener. Hey, I'm seeing here that you're watching every single week. Yeah, I know YouTube, Google, they have these analytics things, and you haven't subscribed yet. I don't know what the problem is. Hopefully, it's probably Joel. I know it's probably Joel, but it's okay. It's okay. He's not here right now. Just go ahead and click subscribe. Click subscribe.
That's right. Well, let's get to
is it time for shout outs?
Yes, it is, Stephen.
Shout out sponsored by our friends at Kiora, north of the border. They are a tariff-free Canadian sponsor, though, by the way, in case anyone was worried about that. Tariff-free Canadian sponsor. Thanks, Kiora.
Let me get the first one, because the first one is very positive, okay? Because Jackie Clayton and her sister Lauren McKinney will be participating in the 37th edition of The Amazing Race. Now, if you don't know Jackie Clayton, you might remember that last week we talked about Textio layoffs. And unfortunately, Jackie was part of the bad news of those layoffs. But when a door closes, another one opens. So congratulations to Jackie and Lauren on this new amazing door opening. Go kick some ass, ladies. I've never watched The Amazing Race. I'm going to watch every single episode.
37 seasons.
Amazing.
That's a run. And that's an incredible soft
landing. They go around all the world
after.
too, right? They go to other countries. They fly. Play. That's going to be.
It's almost like it's almost like doing what I do. Yeah, it's fun. My amazing bar race is what it is.
All right, I got a shout out for you, Chad. Since we're talking about old guy stuff, my shout out goes to the Shamrock Shake. That's right, everyone remembers the Shamrock Shake.
Yeah.
The beloved minty drink is returning to McDonald's locations nationwide on February 10th. Mark your calendars, everybody. Now, on the news, Chad, I kind of had a Gen X moment of confusion. There's a character called Uncle O'Grimacy, which I had no idea was a thing.
Wow.
So we all know Grimace. We all know Ronald the hamburger. Uncle O'Grimacy was introduced in 1975.
Okay.
He was phased out in the 80s. So I had to go to YouTube to see, is there an ad somewhere with Uncle O'Grimacy? And sure enough, Chad, YouTube did not disappoint. Check out this commercial from 1978, I think, with Uncle Grimacy.
Okay.
Ronald, everything looks green.
Oh, green butterflies.
And green footprints.
Uncle O'Grimacy.
Hello, boys. I'm back. And
Dude,
I'm
I remember him now.
green.
You do?
Yes.
Shamrock
No
shake.
clue.
Shamrock shakes are back. Yummy.
Let's celebrate at McDonald's.
Shamrock shakes.
That was a large, by the way.
So
That was a large drink.
Shamrock shakes. They're a
1978.
beautiful green. Uncle O'Grimacy.
God, they don't make ads like they used to.
Oh,
They do
Uncle
not.
O'Grimacy, shout out. Chad
Dude,
remembers?
yes.
I don't.
No, yeah, I do. After seeing that, it was almost like a green poop emoji, to be quite frank. But
Yeah,
but
man.
the shakes, I remember every year they came out. As a kid, I had to have one, and
Yeah.
they came out. They came out. The first year was 1970, so we weren't born yet, but so they were already in the behavior of America by the time we start having them.
Yeah, I don't want to know what makes it green, but it's delicious.
Especially in the U.S.
Still
all the
delicious.
shit that they use. Yeah.
Still
Yeah,
delicious.
it's pretty disturbing. Pretty sure you're not supposed to ingest it, but here we are, right?
All right, Mo. Enough of that. Give us your shout out.
Take you to a sadder place because you guys were way too positive, and where I am right now is a little
We're not
bit
leaving
we're
the
a
sad
little
place.
more negative Nancy over here. Okay.
Okay.
So shout out to Robert Half Legal, who posted this insane job posting about how they were looking for an executive assistant, and they specifically called out that you should not be like a 30-year veteran. They want an EA who's middle career. And it's like, wait a second. So that's definitely illegal to request that you not have a 30 years of experience, because like anyone who was working after or before age 10, and after age 10, that's like 40 years. I mean, you can't work at 10, right? So it's like, they just said the quiet part out loud. And I'm like, how did this make it to actually hitting posts? Like, unbelievable. But I saw it on LinkedIn.
I feel like I'm taking
exactly. And I'm like, thank you. That is how I feel all the time. Thank you. Thank you. So
If
yet another thing that's insane.
If your name is Gladys, do not apply for this job. But what you can apply for is free stuff at Chad and Cheese. Go to chadcheese.com/free. You know why? Because we love all of them. All of you listeners. Gladys, go to chadcheese.com/free, where you can win Chad and Cheese t-shirts. That's right. Beautiful t-shirts, sponsored by Aaron App. Bourbon barrel aged syrup by our friends, and again, tariff free, from Kiora.
Take off when you were doing our movie. Don't wreck our
Fucking
show,
tariffs.
you poser.
Craft beer from the data geeks over at Aspen Tech Labs. They've been putting out some really good jobs number stuff. Yeah, I mean the stuff that it's almost like they're kind of aligning with what Toby's doing, which is really smart. If you like whiskey, and we know you like whiskey, then Van Hack is the company, because they're going to be sending you, with Chad and Cheese, 2 bottles of whiskey you could prospectively win if you register. And if it's your birthday, you could possibly win rum from Plum. Go to chadcheese.com/free.
In the air right now? I know I can.
Oh.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
That's right, Chad. Another trip around the sun for Elizabeth Dunlop, Ivan Stoyanovich, the Irish recruiter, Adam Bergen, Sarah Hansen, Joe Essenfeld, Tanya Dittman, Ben Waxter, Mimi Jerkin, Jess Von Bank, Nick Fishman, Becky Lee, Amanda Thompson Buffington, and Dave, everyone's after me, Lucky Charms, Ralph. Celebrate another trip around the sun.
Got to thank him for my dodgy stick, by the way.
Dodgy sticks.
And that being said, it's time for events. And if you're on the road with the Chad and Cheese, sponsored by Shaker Recruitment Marketing, guess what? Well, Joe Shaker, out of nowhere, messages me. And he and the team were here in Madrid this week. Total coincidence, I shit you not. But in pure Shaker style, last night, we had dinner at the restaurant inside Real Madrid Stadium. So Joe's always got to step it up. And when I say step it up, I'm not just talking about the stadium. We left after midnight, after knocking out 19 bottles of wine talk about stepping it up. Needless to say, my head still hurts. So thanks again to our friends over at Shaker Recruitment Marketing. Thanks, Joe. He had to get up at 9, or he had a flight this morning at 9:30, so he was definitely sucking. But our
19
next
bottles, how many people?
8.
Oh, God. Sorry, had to ask.
That's okay. Do the math, kids. Do the math. What the fuck? Our next event.
Events.
You get.
Where are we going, boys?
That's right, Stephen. You know. St. Patrick's Day with the Chad and Cheese in Vegas during Transform. That's right. I think Mo's going. I think JT's going. We're gonna have a whole bunch
awesome.
of the Chad and Cheese team there, March 17th through the 19th at the Wynn. If you're not going, you got to go. Go to chadcheese.com/events, register for Transform, and see us there.
Yeah, that should be a good time, everybody.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Awesome. I mean, St. Patrick's Day in Vegas? Are you kidding me? Come on.
All right, we got a lot to talk about.
Steven's taking my job. AI's taking my job. Jesus.
Another Scott taking an American job. Imagine that. Hey, Chad, what do you call 2 doctors in the same operating room?
Redundant. I don't know.
Paradox. Sorry. All right. Friend of the pod and show sponsor Paradox has had a pretty good week. First, they got a lot of love from one of their new customers. You may have heard of them.
Listen to the show.
A little company called Chipotle. Anyway, they were on CNBC's Mad Money, a show that a lot of Americans, at least, will know.
Jim Cramer.
And the CEO of Chipotle had a lot of really nice things to say about Paradox.
Oh my God!
Oh, sorry, that's the wrong. God, this board is so hard to figure out. Let's go to the real clip from Mad Money.
Outpaced the goal there every year as well, Jim. As it relates to on the people side, we leaned into a AI hiring assistant by Paradox about 6 months ago that has put us on better footing from a staffing perspective than we've been in the 8 years I've been in the organization, pushing past numbers we thought were all-time highs just last year. And that AI assistant, what it does for us, Jim, is it allows us to bring in new team members and onboard them in about 75% less time than the old traditional format, which is leading us to better quality hires and getting high quality, great people in the organization much quicker.
Well, I was going to ask you about this 0.2%, whether it should matter, blah, blah. I am fascinated by what you just said. Did you build this? I mean, what's it based on? Because this is the kind of thing that I've been waiting for some company to say to me.
I love his voice.
Yeah, so we leveraged a partnership through Paradox. We brought them in. We talked about creating a bespoke experience for the Chipotle system. We worked in partnership and we launched a product that I'm really proud of. Now, we have dubbed our AI assistant Ava Cotto, and she engages with applicants immediately when they apply to our digital system.
So bad.
And she walks them through the necessary questions and then schedules the interview for the general manager. The GM shows up at a set time per week with scheduled interviews ready to go of candidates that are goal-oriented, values-oriented, and aligned with our purpose of cultivating a better world. And away we go.
Well, there's avocado, then there's actual avocado, and we're watching what's going on in Mexico very closely.
Well, they just printing money.
I love Cramer's reaction. I've been waiting for companies to tell me about this.
Look, I was going to ask you about this, but let's go back to this Paradox thing. That's interesting. Jeez, could you imagine? There's a better commercial for them. Jeez, that's awesome.
Pretty good.
And I got to say, because we do this a lot, we give Adam Godson and Jay-Z, Josh Swain over there, a ton of credit at Paradox. But let's focus this time on Josh Secrest for a moment. He's the VP over at Paradox and former head of global talent strategy at McDonald's. Yes, former global talent strategy at McDonald's, and has been working as VP of marketing and client advocacy over at Paradox for 4 years. Now, Josh is a freaking stud in the TA space, and when you see something like this happen, you know that it has Josh's fingerprints all over it. So big applause to Josh, everybody over at Paradox. This is awesome.
It was awesome. I don't know how many people watch Mad Money, but the right kind of people watch Mad Money and listen to what Jim Cramer says. So, if there was, we'll talk about Paradox in depth here a little bit, but man, this really sets the table for them nicely in a big way. And wait, there's more from our friends at Paradox, Chad. They also acquired New York-based and Black-founded eqtble, people analytics platform this week. Terms were undisclosed. Founded in 2021, the Y Combinator alums had previously raised $2.8 million. The team, which will join Paradox, touts previous experience at places like Snap, WeWork, and Johnson & Johnson. We asked the Paradox team to give us a little video talking about the acquisition. Here it is.
Hey, Chad and Joel, great to see you guys. Wanted to give you an update on today's exciting news of Paradox's acquisition of eqtble to become Paradox Intelligence. I brought a friend. You can tell because we're wearing the same jacket. Joseph eqtble, the CEO of eqtble, to tell us a little bit about what the acquisition means for the future for our clients. Joseph, maybe introduce yourself and tell us what this means.
Yeah, hi all. I'm Joseph. I was one of the co-founders and CEO of eqtble, now part of the Paradox team. And yeah, really excited about this. I mean, first of all, we're grateful to be here. We're excited to be here. We are in the midst of an amazing team here at Paradox. And for us, the acquisition, first of all, means a vision alignment, vision brought to life, a vision which means that organizations can finally be in a place where data can drive the decision making. So Paradox, of course, built an amazing tool. We're systems of action. Our goal at eqtble was to use analytics to empower organizations to make decisions, to be a systems of action. And so this was an alignment of a vision where you have a platform that's doing amazing, and we have this apparatus that comes in and just enables that decision making for organizations. So we're very excited to be here.
Excited too. You said that all the magic words, which is data coming together with AI to create action. Chad, Joel, I know you guys love yourself some data, so I know you're going to love it too. Can't wait to show you guys.
Okay, if you're not watching that, it's not the same jacket, and I want the one that I don't have, which is the Nike jacket. I know Jay-Z's listening, and I know he has my address, so double X, baby. Double XL maybe on the Nike. Maybe XL in the Nike.
Yeah, I would like a medium, as usual. So what do you think, Mo? This is...
sounds great. I love that they sent you that personalized message. I mean, it speaks to the extent to which you are like OGs in this space. I'm a newbie, right? Like, I've been an employee. I haven't actually been a recruiter. I've been a hiring manager. I've been a candidate, of course, plenty of times. So I understand like what these platforms do and why they're necessary. But I got to say, like, data. Yeah, I love data. I love analytics. I love making better business decisions. That's so cool. But I have to ask, because a lot of these platforms, with all due respect to all these platforms, they kind of sound similar. And so can you guys help me understand, like, what is the better together story here? Like, what is this actually going to open up for people? Because I'm sure it's something, otherwise it wouldn't be happening. And like a lot of organizations that it's like you build it, you buy it, or you partner, and they chose to go buy. So I just want to hear your take on this.
Yeah. So great question, because I hear a lot of talent acquisition people say the same thing. I don't know the difference between those. Mm-hmm. So in this specific case, so there are two specific reasons. Number one is human control. Yes, Paradox has a ton of data to train its large language models, but that training and its data is next to worthless without the ability to understand and visualize it. So humans still need to be in control, right? So instead of having a black box, you have a vast array of abilities to visualize, dissect, audit, and execute on data when you plug it into this new eqtble platform. Number two, this is the one that I love the best, market control. Not human control, but market control. It's an interesting acquisition because it's much cheaper than buying a bigger platform like Visier. Plus, Visier was on Workday's M&A radar. They've dropped off because of this acquisition with Paradox, because Paradox now has more robust capabilities. Plus, they're building down funnel to meet other big HCM players and consume, train, and visualize that data as well. So this is a play to be able to visualize and control obviously human controlled data, but also it's a market play to be able to smack Visier and other visual analytics types of companies out of the way for prospective M&A with big HCM companies where, I mean, I would think Paradox is probably looking to gain some play. What do you think, Joel?
Mm-hmm. I think Mo's really smart.
You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
Tell me more. Say more.
This is Chad's I've had a few too many beers in Spain laugh. Look, there used to be a time where everyone stayed in their lane. You know, I'm a job board, I'm an ATS, I'm this or that. And those days are coming to an end. Everyone is bleeding into everyone else's business. There was a time where Paradox was called a chatbot. Some people still call them that, but they are conversational AI, and they're more and more becoming a platform for all things hiring and employment. You look at companies like Deel, which we'll talk about later, Smart Recruiters, who you were with, Chad, they've launched Winston. So they have their own little chatbot conversational thing. So you're right in the fact that all of these companies are starting to kind of do the same thing. I think you're going to see a lot more consolidation this year. A lot of companies buying pieces like Paradox just did to sort of play chess, if you will, of like, okay, you have a pawn, now we have a pawn. You have a rook, we have a rook. And now we have bishop and we have. So it's like everyone's trying to put this puzzle together where from first contact to outboarding and bye-bye, they want to own as much of that process as possible. So I think you're on the right track with everything sounding similar. So branding is so important. Trust. What logos do you have on your site?
Totally.
You know, we'll talk to a lot of Paradox people that we have to use another company for this, but we'd love to use Paradox instead. So it's like these lines are being drawn and companies are having to take sides. Does that make sense to you?
Totally. I think it's a very complicated branding issue, right? Like I understand the need to want to touch the entire cycle and have more of the market and all of that, but I do think it poses this really interesting issue of how do we message who we are and what we do, right? To the layperson. Like I'm a great example of a layperson who would want to know what these things do, right? And so I think they're going to have to get really smart about it. And, you know, hats off to Paradox for landing that sick spot on Jim Cramer's show. You know, like that's the sort of thing that's going to help.
Pretty soon they'll all have their own Shamrock shakes at HR Tech, so that you know the difference between all the products and services.
No, the big reason the Chad and Cheese exist and why everybody loves us so much is because we talk about this shit and because people don't understand the difference between them. And in some cases, the differences aren't that large. But if you take a look at the way Paradox started, as Joel had said, there was Paradox, there was good God, what was I've had too many beers. Alio, Zor, right? There are all these different chatbots, right? Where are they now? They're all fucking dead. Why? Because of the way that the model actually worked. So yeah, I mean it's interesting. It's interesting to know how they started and how they got to where they are today and how they grew and why they grew that way. So it's fun, which is why we do the show.
So the bigger picture, Chad, thoughts on the acquisition, the overall strategy of Paradox? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, it just makes sense from an acquisition standpoint because you take a look at companies like Workday, who say they're doing layoffs because of AI. Those motherfuckers don't have AI other than, they've got Athena who's in there. But at the end of the day, they need something sexy and new and nimble like a Paradox. And if Paradox travels down funnel into the employee experience, and we know they're already doing that with some companies, right? That's exactly what a Workday is going to want to see. Now, what's another company that also might look sexy to Workday? Visier. Because they bring data to life. Well, guess what? So does Paradox now. So now Visier is off the table because Paradox can do that too. And they can do all this other shit. So I think from a macro standpoint, it just makes sense. Not to mention, if they don't get acquired and they go IPO, that TAM is going to be much larger, right? Because they're going to start going toward the HCM. So they're going to be able to get much better IPO out of it.
Oops, winning.
So first of all, congrats to both teams. It's always awesome to be acquired and to be acquired by a company like Paradox.
And you get to keep your job too.
When
that's awesome.
That's always nice too. So Chad, remember when we talked, Aaron had stepped down from his CEO duties and became chairman. And one of the comments I think I made was that he's free to like acquire companies and go shopping and use that budget to go make some really cool strategic moves, a la Dr. Evil, in the spacecraft or the volcano.
Has the same
volcano.
haircut too. Yeah.
Same as yours too. So this, I think this is their third acquisition. The first one that Adam has been CEO, but I got to think that Aaron's fingerprints are all over this as well. And I suspect that we'll see more of these acquisitions in the future. So I want to go with 3 takeaways that I have, and then a quick history lesson. Not just for Mo, but everyone. So my 3 takeaways, I've already said it. This is a big step to them owning more of the funnel of the lifespan of an employee, and I think they're gonna continue to do this. ATS built, more acquisitions. They're going to keep doing this. So I think that is exciting for their customers. I think that also number 2, this was very strategic. We'll get to some of the LinkedIn news later, but here's a little bit of a spoiler. People love data. They love knowing more about shit and getting insight. And right now, they don't have a lot of insight into their own people and their own organizations and what's going on. So this is clearly in demand. I don't know how much of this was customer driven, like, hey, we'd really like to do this, or just sort of foresight by Aaron and the executive team. But this was a strategic move into data and giving more to companies, which also feeds into AI quite nicely. And number 3. We maybe don't talk enough about this, but like if this were a sports league, Paradox just drafted at minimum probably 2 first rounders and a high second rounder. So if you thought Paradox was already a varsity squad, they've just upped the bench quite a bit and made them a lot more formidable than even they were before. So those are sort of my 3 takeaways from the news here. And with that, I'd like to jump, unless Chad, you got something to add.
Yeah, one quick thing. Also, to be able to add into this, kids might remember that Eileen Kowalski from GM, right? Mm-hmm. She was pretty much the star of the AI Sessions Season 1, and she's the global head of candidate experience at GM. Well, she was. Now she's senior director of client success and advocacy at Paradox. Yeah, no shit. You have heavy hitters like Adam Gotson, Josh Swain, and Secrest from McDonald's. Mm-hmm. And now Eileen from General fucking Motors in the mix. These guys are killing it on bench. I mean, they're hitting on all different cylinders, and it's freaking amazing. It really is.
Definitely says something when you can attract that kind of talent.
Come on, Eileen.
Good on them.
I swear.
Man, more references. I love it.
All right, let's get to a history lesson.
Time for a history lesson.
So good.
All right. So if a lot of companies need to be on notice, and I'm going to give you a quick history lesson here. In the early 2000s, Monster could have acquired LinkedIn.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Big mistake.
They acquired a company called Tickle, which they then ran into the ground.
First clue?
They had an opportunity to buy Indeed around 2010-11. They didn't. We know how this story ends, and Monster fell behind and became irrelevant. Became Career Builder plus Monster. If I am Workday, UKG, Recruit Holdings, SAP, ServiceNow, you better buy Paradox now, because it's really close to getting unaffordable for a lot of companies. Otherwise, if you don't, you may be looking up in 3-5 years and going, holy shit, we got put out of business because of these guys. So, history lesson, learn a little bit from it, but Paradox is priming itself to be an 800-pound gorilla that everyone is going to wish they had put out of its misery or brought into its fold, brought into its business really, really quickly. So that's
the history lesson.
That's your history lesson.
Time for a history lesson.
Chef's kiss. That's so good. Good.
And with that, let's take a quick break and talk about deals.
So you posted a new job ad. Now you can sit back and wait for the applications to roll in, right? That's why we built JobPixel. Imagine showing candidates why your company is great with real people, real stories, and real culture. With JobPixel, it's not just another job ad. It's an invitation to something much bigger.
Video gives you a 3 times better response rate. So instead of chasing after candidates, they'll be coming to you.
And with a 34% boost in conversions, candidates aren't just looking, they're applying.
And if you're worried about people clicking away, don't be. Our videos reduce bounce rates by 25%. That means they're watching, they're engaged, and they're interested.
282% more engagement? Yeah, you're gonna need a bigger inbox.
Finding the right candidate is tough, but with JobPixel, it doesn't have to be. Show your company's authentic story, and the candidates will follow.
Let's make recruiting fun again, because honestly, it could use some help.
Do you want to see how JobPixel can save you time and money while achieving your KPIs? Schedule a demo today.
That's with 2 E's.
All right, Chad. Deel has hit an $800 million annual revenue run rate.
Fuck me.
And is eyeing an IPO next year. 800 million. It just seems like yesterday that they were at 500 million. Yeah, the more winning.
Winning.
Deal. So after a 70% revenue jump in December, it added investors through a $300 million share sale, boosting its valuation to $12.6 billion. Founded just 6 years ago. Deel has grown significantly, employing 5,000 associates worldwide. So, Chad, I'm not sure there's anything that we haven't said before, but any opinion on the most recent Deel valuation IPO announcement from Deel?
So, I mean, I know we agreed to talk about this because it's big news, but it's not surprising at all. Deel is killing the game. They reported 800 million in ARR. It seems like 5 minutes ago it was 500, right? I mean, they are beating the shit out of Rippling, a company that has taken monumentally more funding than Deel, right? It's like 2 billion or some shit like that. Anyway, and every acquisition has made sense. So it's an EOR company that's turned into a payroll company. That could easily, easily
cheers,
take a huge chunk out of the staffing world if they want to, right? So IPO, it's not a surprise. And unlike other stocks in the HR space, I believe this motherfucker's going to skyrocket. So I want the pre-deal. I want some money in on this thing.
The pre-deal deal. Do they serve chicken cock at that bar, Chad?
Oh, I love chicken cock. I do. I love it.
I'm going to guess no. So. I'm going to guess no at Madrid. Yeah, I don't know what we can say about Deel that hasn't been said already. Now, what is interesting to me, I think this is the first time they've publicly talked about an IPO. The 2026 date is interesting. I don't know the leadership at Deel very well, but part of me thinks that they wake up every morning and go, how can we fuck with Rippling and that douchebag Parker Conrad, right? Who I predicted, this is one of my predictions for 25, is that Rippling would go IPO. This gives them a little bit of false comfort to me. I know Parker was listening to this and saw this and said, ooh, 26. We can exhale. We can take a little break. We can maybe, we got some room to maneuver. Another prediction. I think Deel comes out and says, things are happening sooner than we thought. We're going to file sooner than we thought and freak Parker Conrad and the Rippling kids out because they do not want Deel to go public before they do because their shit is going to look awful in light of Deel. So part of me thinks Deel's fucking around with Rippling and saying 26 when they really mean 25. It's just the
bold prediction.
Well, he's just trying to pull it into his 2025 predictions.
It is the evil genius that I think permeates the industry. But yeah, Deel, keep crushing it. I can't wait till these two go public and we have more fun things to talk about. Mo, any comment about the news? A lot of dollars. I don't know.
Lots of dollars. I mean, they're clearly doing something right. Yeah, not a lot of familiarity or have never been on the Deel platform, but I have been on Rippling and I have read about that guy. So I love your prediction and I can't wait to see what happens. But yeah, I mean, go crush it, I guess. Kill it. Can't wait to see.
Go crush it. Go crush it.
IPO, baby. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. And on that note, we got more red meat for our listeners. More red meat. We got Paradox, Deel. Let's talk about LinkedIn, for God's sakes. Let's LinkedIn. Everyone listening has a boner if they can get one because we're throwing so much red meat at you people. All right. Move over TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Here comes LinkedIn with over 1 billion users.
When's the last time you heard it called a boner? I think I was like 12. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It's been a while.
Again, why people love the show. All right, move over to TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Here comes LinkedIn with over 1 billion users. They're pushing video content, touting a 36% upload increase and new features like full screen vertical videos for all users. But wait, there's more. LinkedIn hopes to improve candidate treatment, adding, quote, responsive insights, indicating which job listings are actively being reviewed by employers, hoping to steer applicants clear of the proverbial black hole. All this is in the shadow of recent earnings, where LinkedIn's revenue increased by 9% in the quarter ending December 31st, reaching $4.59 billion, despite its talent solutions segment, which includes recruitment tools, performing slightly below expectations due to a weak hiring market. Mo, I know you love some good social media videos. What are your thoughts on the news out of LinkedIn?
Big fan of LinkedIn video. It's actually, kudos to them. They have exploded my growth. I have gotten 41 million views in 2024. I think I'm at like 8 million for 2025 already.
Hello.
And it's all thanks to video. Like it's crazy. And it's, blown my following up and all of that. So thank you, LinkedIn. I appreciate it. As an early adopter, I was, I think, pretty much rewarded. Now it sounds like other people have like hopped into it and understand that they should be there. So my message to anyone is if you want to grow on LinkedIn, like, don't be silly, like get out there, don't be an idiot. Like this is how to do it. And so they're really doubling down on creator tools. I've seen it myself. I've actually talked to someone on the LinkedIn team about this who reached out to me after seeing my videos, and they're going to be providing more and more tools for people to get out there on video. So buy in now. It's going to help you grow. It's maybe the golden era is a little bit past since people are more sort of flooding it at this point, but it's a blast. It's been really fun. And I think LinkedIn, it needs a little bit of a shakeup from like, I'm humbled to announce that I got this new freaking job and I'm a visionary thought leader genius. So I'm here for it. Some people call it boring TikTok, like boring business TikTok. I disagree. I've seen some pretty good video content. And I also want to say, because they are focusing on this and because they've just made so much money, LinkedIn, maybe pull a TikTok and an Instagram and start paying your creators. Incentivize us to post more. I'm into that idea. So show me the money, baby. I'm in.
There it is. That's what I'm saying. Tell them, Mo. Tell them.
Let's go. Also, there's just so much opportunity that people aren't realizing yet in terms of brand collaborations. Like B2B should be on LinkedIn, should be working with creators there. The value of a LinkedIn follower, if you will, versus like a TikTok or an Instagram follower, in my view, and in the view of many others who know a lot more than I do, it's like exponential, right? Because these people are real name, real industry information, real title, all that stuff, which in some cases is bizarre. Because I'm like, you posted that? Like, don't you know we all know? You're not like user 45789. Like, what? How did you put that out there with your name attached to it and your employer? Like, holy shit! But it's like crazy the value there, and I think that companies are going to start waking up and partnering with content creators on LinkedIn, and it's just a whole market that's going to explode. So that's my prediction for 2025, and let's hope it comes true for yours truly and others.
All right,
yeah.
Chad?
So companies that are out there, they should be going after influencers. I mean, and that's the thing, is that everybody's talking about how can we get our jobs out on social media? Stop that shit. Go to influencers. Have them get into their feeds, for God's sakes, whether it's on TikTok, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on fucking LinkedIn, it doesn't matter. That to me is the big key. Yeah.
Make it interesting. Like, no one wants to watch your freaking webinar. Talk to a content creator. Have them Trojan horse your message in, man. Make
Trojan
it
horse
interesting,
that shit.
right?
Trojan condom
Trojan
that
horse
shit. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
What's going on?
So Chad is so drunk. All right, this is great. So first of all, to Chad's point, if you don't have like a short form vertical video strategy, you are way behind. I mean, get your you don't necessarily need influencers. That's great. You have them in your own company. Like, get them on video. Yeah. Get it on this platform. It's blowing up. Everyone that's using it loves it. I think it's only going to get bigger and bigger. And I think, like we talked about before, Chad, it's going to be a way to hire, right? Companies will post shit and there'll be a little button that says, hey, company sounds interesting. Click here to apply now. And people will just be like applying to all these videos of companies that they think look cool or people that might be their boss. So this is 100%. A little bit of, I don't want to say, we talk about the death of the resume. Like, this is kind of where hiring, or a lot of hiring, is going to start moving into for the young kids out there. The other thing that, back to the Paradox news, for the first time, subscriptions on LinkedIn Premium hit the $2 billion mark. People love this data shit. They love insights and what's going on at this company. They like to look under the kimono and see what's going on.
Oh God, we need to retire that phrase. Please,
under the kimono? What?
No. Oh, this needs to go away. Yeah. See, this is why I'm here. No. No opening the kimono. It's gone. It's dead. Let's kill it. Killed.
So, okay, boners and
I didn't say you couldn't say it. I just said I hadn't heard it since I was like 12. Go ahead.
Okay.
That's less offensive to me than the kimono.
Freedom of speech.
I'm just trying to help. I'm trying to help. The more you know, the more you know.
Okay, so just so that we get this right, no more. Mo does not like the kimono, but she likes the boner. Okay, so that's we know. That's what we
don't get a boner with the kimono on. That's bad from all.
Show the responses. Show the responses. The responses.
All right, good God.
The
train is off the track. So my second point was simply Paradox's move to internal data and turn your own company into sort of your own LinkedIn.
Yep.
Access to data and what's going on is going to be a very hot product in the near future. Good God. Let's get a refill. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about romance remotely.
Hospitality is the heart of our society. It brings people together to share great food, drinks, and experiences. But successfully managing a restaurant or hotel is no easy feat. That's where Harri comes in. Harri is the frontline employee experience platform that helps you build, manage, and engage great teams. With Harri, managers can easily find and hire top talent, manage timekeeping, and communicate with employees at any time from any place. Candidates and team members can quickly and efficiently apply for jobs, swap shifts, and access important information entirely from their mobile devices. And Harri's robust employee engagement tools make team members feel more connected than ever. With Harri, as an owner or operator, you get a bird's eye view of your business, from turnover cost, labor cost, employee sentiment, compliance risk, and team performance. Run your business better by understanding the power of your people. Because when your team is the heart of your business, Harri is the heartbeat. See how it transforms your business.
All right, guys. A recent report from Zety, Mom's Spaghetti, shows that 86% of U.S. employees find remote work aids in forming romantic connections. What? With 51% noticing flirtation in virtual meetings. I don't even know how that would happen. Over 62% flirt via work platforms. 79% have had long-term office romances, and 41% had a supervisor as a partner. Gee, that sounds like a great idea. So it's no surprise 69% are starting to report favoritism in the remote workforce. Mo, so much for love in an office elevator. It's taken shape on Slack. What's your take on this new reality?
I mean, I just feel like we've lost the ability to connect with people in person if people are like, oh yeah, this is better for like facilitating romance. Like, I'm sorry, are you kidding me? Like, if you're in person in an office, how could that not be more of an environment where that can flourish? Like that blows my mind. I also have to say, I have never, in all my experience with remote work, seen someone like flirt in front of a group of people like that doesn't
How would
happen.
it happen?
I don't know how you pick up on that.
Emojis,
But
like sending
I know, I'm like,
I
what?
think
Like,
they're doing it.
heart
I think
eyes?
I think
on the side in Slack.
Yes, that's
But
it.
like-
It's like, oh, you're looking really good today,
really,
right? And you're
really
doing it on
hot
the phone versus-
today. Yeah. I mean, it's just like I get that now we are much more capable of having, online interactions and whatnot, and we can create some sort of romantical vibes through that. I get it, but I just in person is like where it makes more sense to me. But okay, I guess that's just where we are as a society. We don't know how to talk to each other in person. But I will say,
You
like,
done messed up,
right? Like on its face, you hear that and it's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't get involved with your supervisor. Like we all know that, like at face value, that's obviously something we shouldn't do. But where do you meet people? Where do you spend all your time? It is at the office. So it's like a very natural outcome of spending most of your waking life with a lot of people in close contact, whether that's like literally physically, which I think would be easier to, create the romance situation, or that's online, right? So, but yeah, it just makes me think like, shit, do we not know how to interact in person anymore? Like where's our Riz gone, guys? Like where is the Riz?
I do want to chime in on the why does it, so there's an element in the office when you're around other people. And I can certainly speak from a male perspective. There have been multiple times where I would see my buddy or someone I knew start to like get on that line, like almost like get up to it and almost like jump across. And I would like, I'd give him a look or say, dude, what are you doing? Like that? No, you can't do that. So in a remote world, there's no like, at least in my case, male guardrails to say, dude, you're going to fuck up. Like you're going to get fired. You're going to get nailed on this one. That doesn't exist on Slack, right?
That's a really good point.
It is a startup that someone should do. By the way, our friends at Fama should be creating some sort of like Slack channel, detector, because the superiors getting into like 41% of romances with superiors and bosses.
Yeah.
Danger zone.
Man, that is a PR nightmare waiting to happen.
I agree.
Someone's going to get nailed. Some big high profile company. You're going to hear it on CNBC or somewhere. And companies are going to lose their mind over this. And they're going to like scurry and try to find, how do we stop this? How do we track it? How do we manage it? You're going to see that story because that is a lot of managers behaving badly.
Oh, yeah. Or they're just going to be gone one day and there's going to be like like no information about why they're gone.
There's going to be lawsuits.
Every time that happens.
No, there's going to be a lawsuit.
Yeah,
total lawsuit. Yeah, there's going to be nudes are going to be sent on Slack. Like this is going to happen.
Oh, you guys, true story. I've seen when I joined a company, I went onto the Slack channel and I was scrolling through the Slack channel as a brand new employee, and I was in a public channel and I saw a picture of a bare male butt staring me in the face next to a guy cheersing the camera on a ski slope. And I was like, am I watching HBO? Like, what is happening right now? How is this real? And I was like, how does this person have a job? And I went and I looked who posted it. It was the co-founder and president of the organization. And I was like,
there you go.
Me. How did I find myself in another frat house in tech?
Let's let Joel. It's time for a history lesson. We're gonna help the listeners understand how we got here.
Time for a history lesson.
Yep. So, okay. Remember when, Joel? I know you remember this. When we used to have company just show up at the house, people would literally hop in the car and just pop over for a visit unannounced. You'd hear your mom answer the door and then yell really loud, "We have company," and why'd that stop? Well, the internet, because it was too damned easy to connect with people. So instead of hopping in the car, you pick up the phone, send a message. The actual human real world reaction fades away, right? So interactions move online. And since the human connection is all but lost, just popping over and having company seems really weird, right? Really weird.
Casual drop-in? Nope.
Yeah, that's weird.
Nope.
So where before it was normal, it was something that we all did. So we shouldn't be surprised that peers slacking or messaging, creating that connection becomes almost the entire. That's how we have a connection, right? So remote, that's what we're used to now. Right? Instead of the impersonal stuff, we don't have company. That's weird. We need to do this stuff online. So that's, for me, how I think we got here. And it's sad and it's true. And these motherfucking AI boyfriends and girlfriends are going to be easier to slack than Jeffrey across the.
I quote the debate by saying, I don't know what he said, and I don't think he knows either. Let's get to our dad joke of the week before Chad is fully under the table. All right, guys. What are a chocolate's pronouns? What are a chocolate's pronouns?
Got nothing.
Nuts and almonds. I don't know.
Hershey.
Oh, there we go.
Hershey.
Oh, it's great to meet you. I hope that we see each other again very soon. And with that, another one is in the books. We out.
Thank you for listening to, what's it called? A podcast. The Chad. The Cheese. Brilliant. They talk about recruiting. They talk about technology. But most of all, they talk about nothing. Just a lot of shout-outs of people you don't even know. And yet you're listening. It's incredible. And not one word about cheese. Not one. Cheddar. Blue. Nacho. Pepper jack. Swiss. So many cheeses and not one word. So weird. Anywho, be sure to subscribe today on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. That way you won't miss an episode. And while you're at it, visit www.chadcheese.com. Just don't expect to find any recipes for grilled cheese. It's so weird. We out!